Claus the black man. Santa Claus the black man and his handsome like my daddy too. Santa Claus the black man. Santa Claus the black man, and I found out that's why I'm telling you.
Alrighty guys, so this is the massive declutter that I'm sure a lot of you guys have been waiting for. This will definitely need to have timestamps down below. In this video, I will be talking about all of my bronzers, blushes, and highlighters, both cream and powder, and I will also be having all of my face palettes in this video as well. Like I said, this is going to be a very extensive video, so please get a drink, get some snacks, get something. I will be doing my absolute best to kind of steamroll through these, especially because I've taken the time to swatch all of these products already this year. I don't need to do that. I'm just going to be opening them and kind of talking about them, if I even need to open them to decide whether I'm going to keep them or not. I will try my best to still give you guys the shade names, but otherwise, if you have a particular product that you really want a shade name in and I don't say it, 9 times out of 10, I say it in those swatch videos. So that is another avenue, or you can comment and I will do my best to get back to you guys. But I have not been the best with responding to comments as of late. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start off with face palettes because that is the smallest category. And then we will kind of jump around from there. So I just need to clear this desk, put all the face palettes on there. I'm going to get my 2 baskets like I've been doing. And yeah, we'll just see how well I can hopefully get some of these products narrowed down, because as much as I love cheek products, I just don't need as many as I have. Alrighty, very similar to how I did my declutter previously. I have one bin here for keeps, and then I have one just off camera for giveaways. I do not have a very extensive face palette collection because I really narrowed that down last year, and I think honestly I can narrow it down even further to this year. So first things first, let's talk about this Hourglass face palette. This is the one Hourglass palette that I kept from last year. It's actually beautiful. You get an under eye setting powder, what I consider a face setting powder, and a highlighter. All 3 of these shades match and work on my skin tone, which I appreciate. And if you're wondering, this is their lighting palette volume 3. I am going to go ahead and keep this. Let's talk about this one. This is the Unearthly Low Light palette. This is an absolutely stunning palette. Every highlighter here is actually really quite nice, but I don't need a huge highlighter palette like this. It's just not something that I get any use out of anymore. As you can see, pretty much all of the pans look brand new. I did use this, don't get me wrong, but it's just not something that I reach for consistently. So this has got to go. Right on that same, let's keep with the every other. I was doing really well in my last video, so let's do that. Let's talk about this Hourglass palette as well. This is the palette from this year, and this is in the Lotus Flower edition. I actually really like this. I know it's not everybody's favorite, but this has felt like the best palette that they have come out with so far for dark skin. Do they still have room to grow? Absolutely, but it still feels like this is actually a tremendous step for them. So this is another one that I am gonna keep. And another declutter in the same kind of reasoning as the previous one. I just don't use full on highlighter palettes anymore. As you can see, I got so much use out of this originally, but it's just not something that I need anymore. So that's got to go. Let's break this down to see what all we have left. Okay. Alrighty. So let's do another keep. Another keep is actually, I don't know. Let us see. So this is the NARS palette from last year. This is the Bobbi Brown palette from last year. I think these are a bunch of singles, actually one singular product. Okay, that's good to know. This is a face palette from Kaja. It's actually cream bronzer. The other two products are actually blush and powder products. I actually am going to keep this. I really like this product. This is in March Maca Mellow, and this is their face palette. I do like this, so I am going to go ahead and keep that. And this is the Adept, what is the name? Duology palette. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this Lethal Cosmetics palette. I just don't need it. It's really just one singular product, so I will get rid of that. And between the three of these products, another one that I'm going to enjoy, if we're being honest, I actually enjoy all of these. I like this one the most because you get a blush, a highlighter, and a bronzer. You guys can't even see because it's off camera. You get a blush, a highlighter, and bronzer. So I'm going to keep this one. So we have 4 face palettes that I'm keeping so far and 3 that I'm decluttering. These 2 are going to be the kind of deciding factor. These are tremendously different formulations. This one is pretty much a lot of pigment and it's blendable, but this is very much heavy pigment. And these are also matte blushes with like highlighter, blushy type tones. And these are more satin type finishes. And I think that's going to be the deciding factor. Although I do really like this palette, this is not something that I should have picked up. I should have looked at it more clearly and noticed that 3 of these were matte blushes and this was just not for me. I do really like these top rows, but I just don't need it, and I would rather give it to somebody fully complete and then break it up. And I will go ahead and keep this one as well. I actually really do like it. So we're starting off pretty good with 5 face palettes that I'm keeping and 4 that I'm getting rid of. It's a really good number for me. I'm happy with it. Let's keep going. Alrighty, in the middle kind of is all of my bronzers, both cream and powder. It's going to be a bit of a mess for these videos. I apologize. I can't really differentiate between them, but we'll do my best. Once again, alternating between keep and donate or throw away. So one product that I know I'm going to go ahead and keep is this Haus Labs Deep Level 11 bronzer. This is currently in my project pan. I absolutely love it. This is definitely going or keeping. One that I know is going is this blush or this bronzer. Oh my goodness. This bronzer from Glass Skin, and this is in the shade Cinnamon. This is just not dark enough for me. I should have bought a deeper one. It's got to go. Another keep is this Pat McGrath in Burnished Honey. If you guys have seen my bronzer videos that I did a couple of months ago, you guys will know that those are both in my top bronzers. So I'm of course keeping them. A bronzer I've been keeping on for dear life and I'm ready to let go is this Prime Beauty bronzer in the shade Bronzeville. It's okay. It's a little too matte for me. I'm fine to get rid of it. Let's find another good bronzer. Another good bronzer here is this Rare Beauty in True Warmth. Yes, it is quite red, but it just works. It just works. I don't have any other thing to say. It just works. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it. This Phytosurgence cream bronzer in the shade Golden Horizon is not a favorite of mine. It's just extremely dry in the pan. You can see it's even separated from the outside of the pan. It's ready. It's time to go away from me, at least. Another favorite that I'm going to be keeping is this Rare Beauty On the Horizon. If you want the best cream bronzer from their range, it's this one. I like both shades, but this is the better of the two. That's why it's gotten so much use and will continue to get that much use. Let's see, what's one that I can get rid of easily? This one from Persona. This is in the shade Sahara. This is not dark enough for me, even though they featured it on a dark skin model. So it's time for this one to get out of my collection. Another keep. Let us see. Another keep is going to be this By Mario Cream Contour in the shade Dark. This blends so beautifully. It's absolutely stunning. I highly recommend this. Absolutely love it. It gives that powder matte finish. Really, really great product. One that I've kept for years now, it's just time for it to go, is this Merit Foundation Stick in Cacao. It's too dark for me. I put it here thinking I was going to get use out of it, and although I clearly haven't. So it's time for it to go. I'm ready to part ways with it. It's time for it to go. Another good product. Let us see. Another one that I'm definitely going to go ahead and keep, is my Wayne Goss Deep Bronzer Duo. I know that this is no longer available, and I know it doesn't look like much, but I really like it. I really like it for the uses that I have found for it, so I'm definitely going to go ahead and keep it. Unfortunately, one that I'm going to go ahead and get rid of is this ABH Cream Bronzer in Hazelnut. I absolutely love this. This is one of my favorite cream bronzers, but it has expired, and so it's just time for it to be thrown in the garbage. Let's find another keep. Another keep is actually this Tarte Man Eater Cream Bronzer in the shade Midnight. This is another really unrecognized gem from Tarte. Tarte, I feel like, doesn't get the clout that they used to anymore, but this is a really good product, and I would actually recommend that. One that I'm going to go ahead and get rid of is this cream bronzer from Juvia's Place. It's in the shade Amber. I just don't like the formula. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. I won't say I don't like the packaging, because I absolutely loved the ABH product. And although I don't like the packaging, it is just not for me. My Danessa Myricks Contour in Dark 1, although not a huge love, I actually do like this, so I am going to go ahead and keep that. It's really interesting shade. You would not think it's going to work on me, but it really does. This Half Caked product in the shade Chubby, or is it QB, I'm sorry. I don't like this, so this has got to go. It's also not dark enough for me at all. A good gem in the powder bronzers that I have is this one from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm sure you guys know about this. This is in the shade 4. I absolutely love this, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. An old one that I'm finally able to part ways with is this Makeup Revolution Sculpting Bronzer in Robe. Really good product. It's just super old, and I just don't need it anymore. I can finally have really good products that I don't need to really hoard all of these older products to have a good bronzer collection for me. Another good gem is this Patrick Ta Bronzer Duo. This is in the shade She's Chiseled. I will say I prefer the cream over the powder, but they're both good in their own merit, so I will be keeping that duo. Now we're getting into the thick of things, and I really need to be a little bit more critical on what I need to keep and what I do not need to keep. Which one is this? This is the first shade between the two. I think I'm finally able to get rid of this. This is the Natasha Denona Contouring Sculpting Powder in the shade, what is it, Deep. This is a decent powder, but I kept it because at the time there were not a lot of options for my skin tone. I just don't need to keep this anymore. It's not a preferred shade for me, so that's going to be a Declutter. One that I actually do really like is this LYS in Strength. It's a really nice cream bronzer. No fuss, no muss. Nothing great, but I really do like it. It's a great staple, so it will stay in my collection nonetheless. Keeping it going, another declutter is going to be this Fenty Beauty Mocha Mommy bronzer. It's a matte powder, but it is quite matte. Did I just say a matte powder? This is a powder formulation and is very matte. As you can see, I got a lot of use out of it when I was very much into that finish. I no longer am, so it's time for it to go. One that I will go ahead and keep for a little bit longer is this, let me wait on that. I think what I'm going to pick up is actually this Victoria Beckham bronzer. Does not look like much, but I actually really do enjoy it. And once again, this is in the shade 04. I believe they have one shade deeper in their range. I really like that. It's enough kind of life in that powder that I'm comfortable keeping it. Another kind of very matte powder. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. This is the Juvia's Place Bronzer Duo in Dark. It's good. I really like it, but once again, I just am not into very matte powders anymore for my skin tone or just for my face in general. I definitely should be keeping this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Cream Bronzer in 3 Tan. This is an unsung hero again. It was really great when I got it, and I did get some good use out of it, but then I kind of, got sidetracked by other new bronzers and I didn't get more use out of it, but I should have. So hopefully I can get some more use out of it now that I've slowly curated this collection. Another one that I can go ahead and get rid of is this MAC powder. It's an actually really good color. I really like the undertone, but this is just a tinge bit too matte for me. And this is in the shade Richer Golden. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of that one. Let's see, this is quite old. I'm so sorry. I looked up and my camera was no longer recording. I have no idea how much we missed, but right now I'm down to only 6 products left. And my goal is to only keep 3 out of these 6. So I'm going to really try to be as strategic as possible. Let's talk about all of them. This is the Kosas Powder Bronzer in Deep. I have had this for quite some time. This is the LYS Matte Powder in Strength. Then I have the Fenty Cream Bronzer in Chocolate. The Gucci Powder in 05. The Give Cream Bronzer Duo in Heat Wave. And then the NYX Powder Bronzer in Do Better. And if I'm being honest, after opening all of these, the only one that I'm actually really interested in keeping is this one. And this is the chocolate shade from Fenty Beauty. I do recommend this shade a lot, but this is quite old. I've had this for quite some time. They've already reformulated this range. So I think if I'm going to keep this personally in my collection, then I'm going to need to repurchase. Otherwise, all of the other ones, I think they're good formulas. They've just ran their course in my collection. So let's go ahead and tally up my declutter and keep sections so we can see if we're continuing to do better for this whole category that I did in the last one. So I'm decluttering 20 items and I'm keeping 16 items. This is a first. I feel like normally I keep a lot of my bronzers, but like I said, I'm really trying to streamline. I'm really happy with these categories, and yeah, I'm really just happy. I really want to get some more use out of all of these, get some more pan, and just continue to love on the products that I already have. Alrighty, so like I said, this is a big category, and I missed two products from my bronzer collection, and I just found them when I was searching for all of my blushes. So first, it's this Milk Cream bronzer in the shade Spaced. It's way too dark for me. I absolutely hate it. It's getting decluttered and thrown away. Then I have this NARS matte powder in Corimba. I actually love the fact that they got something that's deep enough for my skin tone, and I think I've kept it so long for the novelty of the fact that I could have a NARS bronzer, but I don't reach for it, so these are both going. Alrighty, keeping it with what is now my blush collection. I'm gonna do my best to kind of get through this quickly, but it may be a bit of a chore. If I miss anything, I apologize. So let's start off with what I know I'm gonna keep. One of my favorite formulas to date is this formula. This is from Half Magic. I have a fourth one. It's somewhere. I'll be keeping all four. So there is that really good formula. I'm not going to talk too much because I've already gone through and swatched all of these, talked about the formulas. We're just going to say if I'm keeping them or not. A really easy declutter for me, unfortunately, is all of these Half Caked Magic blushes. I just really was not a huge fan, so they have just got to go. Another good one is this MAC blush, and I'm actually going to say that for both of my MAC blushes. I absolutely love these. These are still going to hang on. I know they're quite old, but when it comes to powders, I'm not as mad about old powders in some instances. I actually still use those, so I'm going to keep those. Powders that I am going to go ahead and get rid of are all three of my NARS blushes. I've had these for quite some time now, and it's just time for them to go. They're old. The packaging is extremely sticky, and it's just time for them to leave my collection. So really happy about that. I am going to be keeping my Huda Beauty Love Fest cream blush. I absolutely love this. Will definitely be keeping that. An easy declutter is this Sai blush. This is in Peach Glow. It does not show up on my skin tone. I hated it, so time for it to go. I have, I believe, just these two Half Magic or half. No, I have one more. I got the holiday. Oops. I got the holiday set. So now I have three House Lab blushes. I have them in the shade Hibiscus Haze, Watermelon Bliss, and Lavender Blondie. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and keep all three of those. Really great formula there. A shade I'm finally able to get rid of, this Natasha Denona Bloom palette. I should have never picked up in the first place. It's just time for it to go. Another MAC blush. Like I said, I wanted to keep all of my MAC blushes, so I'll keep that. And just to keep it even, I'm also going to go ahead and keep these LYS stick blushes. These are great. I absolutely love these, and I can't wait to get even more use out of them. Found another Half Caked cream blush, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then also, I only have one of these, but this is the LYS pan blush. I prefer the stick, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. Something to keep. I'm going to be keeping both of my Wayne Goss blush palettes. I really like these, so I'm definitely going to go ahead and keep these and hopefully continue to get some good use. Another declutter is going to be this Persona stick blush in the shade Guava. It just doesn't show up, so there's no reason for me to keep it. I have three of these blushes from Shroud Cosmetics. I absolutely love these. These are really pretty, so I will be keeping these. Decluttering all three of my Color Fix products from Danessa Myricks, not because they're bad. They're actually really good products. I just don't love liquid blushes. That's a category that I'm just going to pretty much wipe out of my collection, period. And these are also really old, so these have got to go. A blush that I love, and I'm honestly surprised about it, is this Chantecaille powder blush in the shade Laughter. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue to keep this. This Juvia's Place blush in Bella, although it's a unique shade, it's time for it to finally G.O. I'm sorry if you guys hear the dog in the background. This dog is like a bane of my existence, but I've got to keep filming. These two are from Unearthly Cosmetics, and they're both quite matte, but I think for now I'm going to keep them. Actually, these are going to go in the maybe. I haven't done a maybe yet, so let me give some time to figure out what I want to do with those. But I do want to go ahead and definitely keep my Odin's eye blushes. I absolutely love these blushes and really want to keep them. One thing that I do know, once again, like I said, liquid blushes are just not for me. So I'm just going to get rid of both of my liquid blushes from Juvia's Place. I'm just not a huge fan of liquid blushes in general. Another keep are going to be all of my Patrick Ta cream blush duos. I absolutely love them. I've already gone in depth with them. I really, really want to keep those, so they are staying. Let's see, something that I'm going to get rid of. Again, another liquid blush. This is the Rare Beauty and Love. It's out of all of my liquid blushes, this is the one that I have enjoyed the longest and the most, but still nonetheless, I just don't like that type of formula for cream blush, so it's got to go. A formula that I do really enjoy are these Danessa Myricks cream blushes. I actually have others. I don't feel like getting them, but these are the Danessa Myricks cream blushes that are easily accessible. Absolutely love these, so I will be keeping these. Alrighty, let us see. Another easy throwaway is this Lawless powder blush in Watermelon. Just not for me. It does not show up. Another keep are all of my Pat McGrath powder blush products. I have these two, and then I also have the palettes, which are right here. I absolutely love all of these. Alrighty, so we're definitely narrowing it down. I just finished one last keep, so let's do another throwaway. This is a product that I told myself to like give another shot, and honestly, I have enough blush, so I don't need to give it another shot. I'm very grateful that the brand gave it to me, but it's all good. So this is Me to You NYC, their cream blush in Spring Dust. It's just not a favorite. It's not a love. Easy time for it to go. A favorite cream formula is these Finding Ferdinand cream blushes. I'm definitely going to go ahead and keep those. Let us see. Another throwaway is this particular Glam Light face palette. I don't know what it is about this palette, but I just do not like it. So it is time for it to go. A face palette that I do enjoy from Glam Light is this one. This is their Scooby-Doo one, so I will be keeping that. Continuing on with old products that I'm getting rid of. This is the Alamar blush palette, so it's time for that to G.O. Let's see. Another product that I do enjoy though is this About Face cream blush. This is in the shade Big O, so I'm keeping that. Something that is another product that's time for it to see its maker is this Item cream blush in I'm Crushing. So this is going to be going. I really like my Valentino blush, so I'm going to keep this. This is in the shade 5. I am ready to let go of this cream blush from Fenty, and this is in Daiquiri Dip. A really great formula is this Sangro blush from Prados, so I definitely will go ahead and keep this. But I am going to go ahead and get rid of this Juvia's Place blush palette. It's just not for me anymore. Alrighty, I think we're to the point where I can have everything at least somewhat on screen, hopefully. I have two of these Singe blushes don't know where the other one is, but just know I have two of them. And I think now we can just go ahead and say that I will definitely be keeping both of these. I absolutely love this formula and cannot wait to get some more use out of it. We're really into some hard decisions here. I think I am actually going to go ahead and let go of this By Mario cream blush. I, for some reason, don't like this formula as much in the stick at cream version as I do in the powder bronzer version. So I'm just going to go ahead and let that one go. I really like this ABH cream. It's in the shade Peach Caramel. I just think that this is such a good shade. I really love this shade. So I think I'm going to go ahead and keep that. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I really like, feel like I have to get rid of. If we're being honest, I really like this collection. I'm not the, wait, what's going on with this pan? Yep, this has got to go. I don't know what's going on with that pan. It looks weird. Not for me. This is from One Size, and this is the shade Firestarter. So that's being decluttered and thrown away. This is quite old. This is from Colored Rain. They're no longer even a brand. So I'm actually going to go ahead and get rid of that. Let's see. I really like this shade for the uniqueness of it. But is it something that I'm actually going to be using consistently? I don't think so. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. This is Hey Honey. Great blush. I actually really do like it, but I just don't think I'm going to use it. This is also another shade I just don't see me using. This is the Honeymoon Phase from the Give Duo range. I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. The Dior blush in the shade, I can't even read the shade. It's upside down. Splendid Rose Satin. I really do like this. I am going to keep this. I like this. I'm pretty sure I have two Charlotte Tilbury blushes, but for some reason only one of them's here. I do like this, so I'm going to keep that. I absolutely love this Makeup by Mario cream blush for some reason, so I'm going to keep that one. I believe I have like 2 or 3 of these Phytosurgence blushes. I don't know where they are. I do like this. I don't know what's going on with the product, but I think it's just the wax buildup. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that. I do really like this stick from Victoria Beckham, so I am going to keep that. This is new. This is from the holiday collection, or the set that I got with the other product that I talked about earlier from the brand, from House Labs, of course. I do really like this. It's unique and interesting, so I am going to go ahead and keep this. The Sigma blush, I actually really like this. It's quite shimmery, so it's really nice. I really do like this Putty blush from e.l.f. I like the formula in the blush rather than in the bronzer for whatever reason. So I am going to continue to keep this. Although this looks very similar to this. So maybe I don't need both. And this, it's fine. That's a shade that I get a lot of use out of, because I think even this is actually a similar shade. It is. And I do like all 3 of those formulas. So we'll just go ahead and keep them. And then as for the Unearthly blushes, I think I'll keep them. I'll keep them for now. So let's see how we did with my blushes. I don't think I did nearly as good, but that's okay. I'm okay with it. Let's see what my numbers are. So I am decluttering 32 blushes between cream and powder. Honestly, I would have thought that I would declutter a little bit more, but I'm not too mad at this at all. I got rid of all of the formulas that I really did not like, and I don't think I'm going to get any use out of. And now I really have all of the formulas that I know will work for me and I am actually going to enjoy using. So that was the goal, of course, of my declutters. And so yeah, really, really happy with this. Let me just clear off my desk one last time, and then we're going to dive into the highlighters. Alrighty guys, so as of the time of me filming this portion of this video, I have not gone ahead and done my swatch video of my highlighters. I don't know if I will ever get to it, at least for this year. I'm going to try my best, but if not, I apologize, but I'm just going to kind of treat this with the same kind of speed as I've treated all the other sections in this video. But hopefully I can do a deep dive swatching them and giving you guys my favorites as I've done with the other two categories of cheeks, just because I know this collection is very extensive and I just don't want this portion of this video to be too long. So I'm going to try my best as always to do every other. And first things first, as we can see, I have a variety of different shades from Pat McGrath's formula in her highlighters. I have some of her limited edition and one of her permanent range. I absolutely love Pat McGrath's highlighters, so I'm keeping them. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this Juvia's Place liquid highlighter. Once again, liquid highlighters, not a formula for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of the ones that I know I do not enjoy. One of my favorite highlighters is this Fantasia One Size highlighter. I really wish that the brand would come out with a permanent range in this similar formula, but until then I will continue to keep that. Once again, just keeping on with that concept, even though I actually do think that this Unearthly cream highlighter in Gilded is actually quite nice. It's liquid, I don't use it, it's just got to go. I do really like my Rare Beauty highlighters, although one I actually like and one I don't for my skin tone. So I originally bought Flaunt, and that is definitely a favorite of mine. Reveal I find is just a little bit too dark for me. And I've kept it to this point, but I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter it, give it to somebody who's of a darker skin tone. It's pretty much unused, and I can really lightly use it, but I just don't want to go ahead and do that. So for that, we'll say I was even, and we'll find another highlighter that I'm actually going to keep. This Givenchy highlighter from quite a few years ago, I've been keeping because there was just something about it when I bought it that I thought I was going to love. And I thought in this moment I was going to keep it, which is why I picked it up first. But I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. But to even it out, I will go ahead and keep this Jupiter from Lunar Beauty. I absolutely think that that is a fantastic highlighter. Another really good highlighter is this House Labs one, and this is Fire Opal. I really like it. It works for me, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. And one that I am going to go ahead and get rid of, unfortunately, once again, is from this Half Caked brand. And this is the Pop Star highlighter. It's just not a favorite of mine, so it's just time for that to go. I have a couple of Dior highlighters. Oh my goodness. A couple of Dior highlighters. I actually really like these, so I'm going to be keeping them. I do actually need to start getting use out of them this year, or they really do need to be decluttered, but I am going to keep them for now. I really enjoy them. They bring me joy. One thing that does not bring me joy is this Phytosurgence cream highlighter, so I'm going to get rid of this. And this is an Astral Ablaze. Another thing that does bring me joy and happiness are all three of my Odin's Eye highlighters. I really enjoy them, and I'm really happy that I was able to collect them as I have. So that is definitely something that I will go ahead and keep. And I think we are narrowed down enough that I can go ahead and kind of get everything in frame and being seen at the same time. If not, at least showcasing all of the brands that I have. Alrighty, so I've been holding on for this for dear life. This is the Dose of Colors Chasing the Sun highlighter. It's just time for it to go. This is years old, so it's time to say goodbye. One thing that I will not be saying goodbye to is this Half Magic highlighter in the shade Glitter Puck Dopamine. I really like this, so this is staying. This rim one is actually pretty, but I don't think that it's pretty enough to stay. This is in Miss Jupiter. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. Let's see. Another one that I'm actually going to keep is this iconic London shade in So Cheeky. It's really, really pretty when applied. Absolutely love it. Definitely going to go ahead and keep that one. One that I'm not going to keep is this Melt blush or highlighter in Genesis. Oh, no. This is what this is. I'm sorry. I thought this was the cream that I've had a while ago. I don't like the cream. But that's fine. One I will get rid of is this About Face powder in the shade Light Lock. Not a huge fan, so I can go ahead and chuck that. I really do like this fruit lighter from the Cleona and Emily Violet Marie collaboration, and this is in Tropicano, so I will go ahead and keep that. Let us see. I think I'm happy enough to get rid of this baby. This is the Juvia's Place Volume 1 highlighter. I'm just going to chuck that. I'm going to go ahead and keep this MAC highlighter. This is a gem. I'm so happy I picked this up, and I do not ever really want to get rid of it if I do not have to. Let's see. One that I want to get rid of. Let me see. I think I'll go ahead and get rid of this. This is the Half Magic Light Trap. I'm not a huge fan of that, so I will go ahead and get rid of that. And then one that I will keep is this Merit Cream Blush in Citrine, Cream Highlighter in Citrine. This is my favorite cream highlighter, and probably at the end of this video will be one of the only ones that is left. I think it's also time for me to go ahead and get rid of this highlighter palette from Dior, and this is in the shade Copper Gold. It's really pretty. I got a lot of use out of it, but I think it's time for it to go. I think instead I will go ahead and continue to keep this Adept Cosmetics highlighter palette. It's really, really pretty, and I get use out of all of the shades. As far as if I'm getting rid of anything else, I think I can get rid of this Victoria Beckham cream highlighter in Amber. I thought it was an okay product. Nothing really to write home about. The Sigma highlighter I think is really smooth and beautiful and subtle, as is a lot of their products, so I will definitely be keeping that. I really do like this Shroud Cosmetics powder, and this is in the shade Celestial Haze, so I'm going to be keeping that. Let's see. This is Game Beauty's highlighter in Elemental Pearl, or Geo, I think. Yeah, Geo. I thought this was okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. We got my two highlighters from Caladios Cosmetics. I've really narrowed down that collection. I think at one point I had like 4 or 5. This is the one Melt highlighter that I have in Genesis. That's really, really pretty. And this is the About Face Cream. I think that this is okay. I'll go ahead and get rid of that About Face. And once again, I looked up and my camera turned off again. I'm so sorry. But I'm only getting rid of 16 highlighters, and these are the highlighters that I'm keeping. So significantly more, but at the same time, a lot of these are duplicates of formulas that I love. And I've really, once again, narrowed down the formulas that I want to really expand on if I decide to get more highlighters. I really haven't been using highlighter as consistently as I once was. So this was probably going to be a very stagnant collection here, and that's okay. That is very much okay. So yeah, I think that's it for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this declutter. I'm so sorry for all of the jumps between my camera stopping and me not noticing, but hopefully you guys did not miss too much. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please go ahead and hit them out down below in the comments section. Like I said, I will do my absolute best to do a whole swatch video on all of these so that you guys can see these swatched on my skin tone, and I can really talk more in depth about these highlighters prior to this video going up. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.